national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Yes, of course, we are celebrating today as we do every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I'm not sure I really like this one. National Clean Off Your Desk Day. I'm going to be busy all day long if I try to celebrate this one, so maybe we'll just go with National Apricot Day, but I don't know. I don't think we're in season right now, are we? It's a little odd time of year to have a National Apricot Day. Originated in northeastern China near the Russian border in ancient times and were later introduced to Europe and Armenia. Apricot found its way to North America when English colonists settled in Virginia. The fruit was brought further west by Spanish explorers and missionaries, where the fruit is grown commercially today. I don't know about that one either. We're going to have to be careful here. We're going to go back and look at some of the news of the day. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 40 points. It almost got to that 20,000 on Friday. We got within a few points, a fraction of a point away on Friday. Remember, when you're talking about the Dow Jones, those that want to be specific, want to understand the news of the day, the Dow Jones, when you talk about the Dow Jones and points are not dollars in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Points, there's a formula there. There are certain components of those 30 stocks that are in the Dow that have a higher weight than other components of the stocks in the Dow. So be aware, if you want to be accurate, don't say that we were a few cents off. No, we were a fraction of a point away. Oil down $1.70 a barrel today. Why would oil be down $1.70? Well, it has to do with Iran. I know the president told us that Iran was, we were becoming friends with them.
I know whose ass to kick.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to know who's. But Iran, they're not a party to the cutback in the production of oil. So they're continuing to produce more and more oil while other members of OPEC are cutting back. Thus, as they produce more and more, we're seeing that there is more and more supply. Well, you know what happens when there's more and more supply? Well, that's basically the idea there, that prices go down when there's more and more supply. That's just a thought for you right there. Just contemplate that one. I'm going to go a little bit further on that a little bit later on in the broadcast, but that's why oil is down. Hasn't done anything for our gas prices, 236.9 where we are right now. That's the national average. A year ago, 197.7, not looking too swift there. Looking at California, 280.6 is our average here in California. A year ago, we were at 286.6, so we were pretty bad then, almost as bad right now. Yeah, we like to tax ourselves. It's the voter of California that just loves the idea of taxing when we can. It's just amazing. I don't get it, but That's what our voter, our electorate likes to do. Just a thought right there. Moving right along. Did you watch the Golden Globes yesterday? I didn't do it by choice. You know, sometimes
I got a bad feeling about this.
Sometimes when you're married, you just do things. Mama's happy, everyone's happy. Well, watching the Golden Globes yesterday gave me a little bit of nausea. Had to go get some Pepto-Bismol. Then I was listening to Meryl Streep. Unbelievable. I can't say on radio my thoughts about Meryl Streep. But did you listen to what she had to say? I mean, talk about most of the time in Hollywood, we're dealing with the hypocrites of the world. That's just the way Hollywood is. They want taxes. And they want everybody to take money from everybody, give away more money in taxes. Yet they won't do their films in California unless they get tax breaks, tax incentives. Otherwise, they're going to go to another state where they can get the tax breaks. Think about that one. Makes a lot of sense. Meryl Streep gets up and talks about the fact that the president-elect is so divisive and how many things he's done horrible, even though the majority of the states in the union appreciate him. A overwhelming landslide victory in the Electoral College. Yes, that was what the race was for. There was no race for popular vote. Nobody cared about the popular vote except certain liberals. That was why they're still crying about it today. But the idea, the race was for the Electoral College. That was what the rules of the game were. You can't play by rules that are not the same game. That is what, it's like going and trying to watch. Did you watch football at all yesterday? Did you see anybody hit a home run in a football game? No, they don't hit a home run. That's not what the game is. Similarly, the game was not for the popular vote in the in the presidential election. The vote was for the electoral college. So when you think about that, when you understand that that is what the outcome, the desired outcome, well, now you understand why there was no logical reason for Donald Trump to come to California. Why would he come here when there was no chance of him getting any electoral votes in the state of confusion? We would much prefer go with these loony ideas where we say it's okay to decriminalize prostitution. Child prostitution is decriminalized and let criminals out of jail. Now that's just the way the state of California works. So if that's the way the state of California works, why would a sane individual want to come here and do any campaigning? Doesn't make any sense. Well, Meryl Streep, she gets up there last night, uses her Lifetime Achievement Award.
You're absolutely useless.
Yeah, absolutely useless. I don't know about you. I'm not a fan of hers in any way, so didn't matter to me that she got up. I should have put some headphones on or something, but I didn't. But she gets up there talking about how leadership has consequences and how Donald Trump's comments are unfair and all this other garbage. Yet, do you think that she made any comments about the handicapped boy in Chicago that was beaten by a bunch of Trump supporters, made basically kidnapped by Trump supporters? I wonder if her comments had anything to do with that. Yeah, we're not going to hear any of those those items there. But I just can't believe it. I just cannot believe it that she would come out with those kind of things. Yeah, but that's Meryl Streep. That's Hollywood. They come out. They're the elitists. They're in the state of California where we don't worry about anything but ourselves. It is the have and have-nots. If you're under $30,000 a year and want handouts and don't want to speak English, California is the place for you. If you make millions of dollars and don't care about what the tax rates are, and you can afford to do anything you want, get on your private planes, go wherever you want, and then tell everybody else they should not be harming the environment, well, California might be the place for you. The rest of the country, they've got a little more sanity. And I just saw a friend of mine who was running for Congress in San Bernardino just made the announcement that he's moving to McKinney, Texas. He and his family are moving to McKinney, Texas. They said they will be taking the American flag with them, as we want to make sure the last ones out of California do take the flag with them. Unbelievable. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, if your home hasn't sold yet, check the price. The best ways to tap the equity in your home. Are you or your parents falling for this common money myth? We're going to talk about all of that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1, on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Gold Star Mortgage Financial has the programs, the products for you. And we're going to even announce today, right here on radio, that the FHA is announcing that they're going to be dropping or reducing the amount of their annual mortgage insurance premium starting the 27th of the month. It's not right away. They don't do those things where it's immediate. But there is an announcement that they will be starting January 27th, lowering the annual mortgage insurance premium by 25 basis points. Move comes in the final days, obviously, the Obama administration. It's interesting. The annual fee was as high as 1.35%, going down 25 basis points. That's some good news for people with the mortgage insurance premium on their home loans. Great information right there. So that our friends over at Gold Star, they do have that available for you. The best ways to tap the equity of your home. When you need cash, take equity out of your home or take out a personal loan, among other options. Now, if you're looking to take money out of your home, the interest rate you pay is almost always lower than an unsecured personal loan because it's a secured loan backed by your home. And if it's a loan on your principal residence or even a second home, the interest payments are usually tax deductible. Again, chat with your tax professional, enrolled agent, or CPA. Get that information from them. In fact, the Washington, D.C. based Urban Institute recently noted that there are more than 52 million U.S. homeowners who are sitting on as much as $7 trillion in accessible home equity wealth, enough for each owner to pull out $150,000 on average, the Institute's Housing Finance Policy Center reported in a study released last month. Of those 52 million homeowners, about half have no mortgage debt at all, meaning they could borrow up to $230,000 on average. The average for those with mortgage debt was less, about $105,000. Again, these are national numbers. Even more dramatically, homeowners older than 65 own 44% or $3 trillion worth of that home equity wealth, compared with just 6% of the nation's total home equity wealth owned by homeowners under the age of 40, again, according to the Urban Institute. Folks sitting on this spendable cash are at this stage of the game are disproportionately older folks who own their houses free and clear, said Sherry Pardo, Associate Communications Director for the Housing Finance Policy Center. They don't want to cash in on that yet, and they are hoping to pass money on to their kids if they don't need it for illness and aging. So how do we tap into this money? Should we have that much money sitting there? Should we not be making some sort of plan? So we've got home equity loans. Those are one way. The home equity loan, simplest equity product, a loan on the equity of your home. Sometimes you call it a second mortgage, very similar to a home equity line of credit or HELOC. And that's like a HELOC is like a 10-year revolving credit card account backed by the equity in your home. Generally, those HELOCs have a floating interest rate, usually prime rate plus 1 or 2%. Now think about that. If it's prime rate plus 1 or 2%, prime rate is driven by the discount rate set by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is telling us that they're going to raise their rate 3 times this year, probably 0.25% each time. They already raised it once last year. So if that's the case, do you really want to be getting into that when you're looking at interest rates having just dropped a bit to 4.2%. That was the Freddie Mac Mortgage Market Survey as of last week on Thursday. It dropped by 0.12% from the week before. So it's 4.2% right there. If that's the case, don't you think you're better off tapping into that home equity through a new first mortgage at 4.2% Freddie Mac rate if you qualify for that number? So let's look at that, because this is one of the issues, and I heard this on one of the weekend radio programs as well. A lot of folks don't look at this concept, and it's the idea of debt consolidation. Taking out a loan on your home to pay off your other debts. Think about that. So here's the issue, and I'm going to go back and we use a very similar issue because this is a real live client that we were able to assist. We went through the whole process with them, and they bought a new house. The new house had both a first mortgage and a home equity line of credit. Why would we have a home equity line of credit? Well, the issue there was, and remember, on that home equity line of credit, you're basically looking at a 10-year interest-only loan. Then Here's where it becomes tricky. You've got 15 years of amortization on the loan, so it's going to recast, and the payment is going to take a huge jump for those 15 years of the repayment period. The idea of the home equity line of credit for many people is if you've got good credit, you take out that home equity line of credit, you get a higher loan to value when you're purchasing property with the intent that you're going to get rid of that as soon as you can. You're going to retire that debt as quickly as possible. When you retire that debt as quickly as possible, that the idea there is you're putting it into a new first mortgage once your property has appreciated, so you have that 20% equity, or you go and refinance. Heck, you can even refinance. If you bought a home with an FHA loan last year, you can go and refinance that loan right away and get started to take advantage of that mortgage insurance premium drop that we were talking about in the last segment. Remember, that's almost like 0.25% for you, because FHA mortgage insurance, if you took it out when it's been at the 85 basis points or 0.85%, that's there for life. Not a problem with it, but the idea is you want to get rid of it as quickly as you can. If your home is appreciated, you get rid of it. If you've got some money that you can put into it, you get rid of it. If you've been making extra payments on your home, you get rid of it. But let's just go with this example. It was a home that had some decent equity. They got an 85% loan to value. It's appreciated. Remember, we've had some good appreciation in California for the last 12 months. So they had a $365,000 first mortgage. I'm going to use the number. This was the Freddie Mac number 1 year ago, 3.97%. Now, they probably did not qualify at 3.97% a year ago, because that would have been the ideal number where we have 40% down payment, not a low down payment with a higher cumulative loan to value. They had a $75,000 home equity line of credit that's at 5.74%. Remember, that's an adjustable number, roughly 2% above the prime rate. They also had 2 auto loans, good rates on them, 5.95 and 6.95. They had 3 credit cards, again with pretty decent rates, 15%, 20%, 30%. Those are the norms on credit cards. So we put some at each of those rate numbers. And we also have a student loan in there with the average number of dollars on a student loan. So here's the issue. Here's the number that people don't want to look at. They don't understand it, so they don't look at it. And they say, hey, Ron, we can't talk about that number because we don't understand it. But they don't say that part. They just tell us that they don't want to look at it. Here's the issue. When you are looking at a household interest rate, don't worry about what your home loan rate is. That is one component. So remember I told you we did it at the Freddie Mac rate last year, 3.97%. That's what the rate was 1 year ago. If you go back and look at their chart, January 7th, 2016, 3.97%. You had to pay 0.6% to get that rate. But look at what's important number is what is the blended household interest rate. Blended household interest rate. When you put all of the debts together, you're looking at a 5.13 interest rate. 5.13. That's what the household debt is. Now we looked at that further and we said all of the payments on all of this debt, the mandatory payments come out to $3,593 a month. $3,593 a month. That's the home loan, the home equity line of credit, the auto loans, credit cards, student loans. All these items come out to $3,593 a month with a 5.13% blended household income. Blended household interest rate, 5.13. Now that's the number that's important. Now if you can get all of that debt rolled into a new loan that you can afford with something less than 5.13%, you're going to be better off. Now, I'm going to talk to you about that when we come back. What do you need to do? What happens there? And even more importantly, are you now stretching out the car loan to 30 years? Well, maybe not. We'll talk about the strategies there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, best ways to tap into your home equity, how you can do it, why you should do it, and can it save you some money? We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about if your home hasn't sold yet, what do you need to be doing? Check the price. We'll talk about that. And are you or your parents falling for this common money myth? We'll talk about that one as well. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube, or the audio replay, ronsiegelradio.com archives. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? Do you know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS? If you don't have a living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Services toll free at 1-855-434-7400 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook, Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400. 7400.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by Heritage Financial Services. They've got the trust that is for you. Go to the gift bag, RSR gift bag. Text RSR gift bag to 79564. You'll be able to check that out. Right in that gift bag, there's a coupon or a gift from our friends over at Heritage Financial, $300 discount on the trust. It's a great, great trust. Very, very attractive price. And you can get that trust from our friends over there at Heritage Financial. Go to the gift bag first, though. Make sure you get the gift that has that trust for a big, big... If you own real estate, doesn't matter how old you are, if you own real estate, you need to have a trust unless you want the state of California to take part of your money when you pass. Are you or your parents falling for this common money myth? If you have parents in their 70s or 80s, there's a good chance they believe a common money myth that could be dangerous for them and for you. Fidelity calls it the independence myth. In a new study with a warning to boomers and Gen Xers, the independence myth boils down to the idea that as each of us age, we will remain financially autonomous and manage all our finances ourselves. Yeah, that's probably not the best of ideas. First off, trying to manage your finances yourself, does it make any logic to you, especially when you start getting 70, 80 years old? I'm going to suggest to you hire professional management. I've got a few different sources for you. If you come to the Senior Symposium, it's free. Come to the Senior Symposium. Bring your mom and dad or bring your kids with you. January 21st, Embassy Suites, right at the 91 freeway in Kramer. Going to be a great event. Continental breakfast is complimentary. There'll be a gift bag for everybody, a virtual gift bag for everybody in attendance. If you text HTSS to 79564, High Trust Senior Symposium. Text HTSS to 79564. Get registered. There's not a lot of seats left. Get registered today. HTSS to 79564 and join us. We're going to be talking about the scams against seniors. We're going to have somebody from the Better Business Bureau is going to share that information. We're going to talk about Alzheimer's and dementia. We've got somebody from the Alzheimer's organization coming to chat. We're going to have an elder law attorney coming over there. We're going to have a panel on housing in place, reverse mortgages, senior communities, all of those different ideas. We're going to talk about finances there, specifically geared towards seniors. Got a big surprise that may be coming on board. We're still negotiating with him to come and join us as well. Great resource for getting some money coming into our seniors. Far better than the money that you're looking at right now in that 10-year treasury. And it's just, well, I can't say it's just as secure. That wouldn't be legal. But the U.S. 10-year Treasury is paying, right as I speak, 2.38%. How about triple that? Would you like to get triple that on your money in a safe environment? Well, we've got somebody coming there. Again, text HTSS to 79564. Get registered before we run out of seats at the event. Come with your mom or dad or bring your young kids. Yeah, probably not best for someone under 40, but that's the group that we're talking about. Don't fall for the myth. Think about this one, and here's one of the big, big myths. We've talked about this for years. Are you thinking about what the cost is for care? Right now, it's about $10,000 a month. If you need a caregiver to come into your house full time, you're looking at. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's about $2,500 a month for that one. If you need to go into a senior community full time with care, you could be talking around $9,000 a month. You think you're going to be ready for that? Are you planning on that? Do you understand where that money is coming from? There's a rule called 50-75 rule. The answer to that question may be known as 50-75 rule. On average, children tend to get involved once they turn 50 or their parents turn 75. Probably better to get involved a little earlier than that. A reminder for people in their 50s and 60s. Fidelity surveys also a reminder for those. Take proper steps for the day when we might not be able to manage our finances. That means naming beneficiaries for all your financial accounts and insurance policies. Having an up-to-date will. I'm going to say trust as well. Having a durable power of attorney form that names someone to make financial decisions for you if you become incapacitated. Having a health care power of attorney or advance directive document to designate a trusted person to make health care decisions if you can't. A lot of information here. We're going to talk about all these issues at the Senior Symposium Again, January 21st, Embassy Suites, Continental Breakfast, a virtual gift bag for everybody in attendance. That is the Word on Wealth segment again, brought to you by Heritage Financial Services. So we've been chatting this morning. We've been talking about this concept of accessing money, getting your household debt, your household weighted interest rate. And again, most people don't follow that household weighted interest. We've got to really understand, what does that household weighted interest rate mean? What does it do? So as the scenario that we laid out for you, 5.13%. Again, that was a $3,593 monthly obligation. Now, if you get a new loan, and all those debts came out to $529,000. I'm saying, what if you get a new loan for $533,000? Now, right now, you can get that loan at 4.5% when we just told you that the mortgage market is 4.2. Freddie Mac Mortgage Market Survey, 4.2. 4.2 on that debt is $2,606 a month, a $986 a month savings. Now, if you go to 4.5, you're looking at an $892 a month savings. $2,700 is your debt on that. Think about that concept. Now, you're saving $892 a month. What do you do with that money? Well, it's your choice as to what you do with the money. What I'm going to suggest to you is apply some of it, maybe not all of it, apply some of it to the balance that you already had on all your other debts. Think about that. If you apply some of that money, I just shared with you that you have the ability to save $900 to $1,000 a month. And that's not doing anything different than what you're doing today. You paid off your car, you paid off your home equity line of credit, you paid off all your credit cards, your student loans, and you lowered your household blended interest rate to 4.5%, say. So now you're at $2,700. That saved you $892. Saved you $892 a month. Wow. Now, now here's the big confusion. Well, you paid off a 4-year car loan. You paid off credit card statements, and many of us are making those credit card payments. We're making a minimum payment. If you make a minimum payment on a $5,000 credit card, you're probably going to be paying for it for longer than you're going to be on this planet. A lot longer than you're going to be on this planet. But if you're paying that student loan 7% interest over 10 years, you're looking at $554 a month for just that one alone. Think about it. Retire that debt as quickly as you can, and you're lowering your payments. Now, you say, I don't want to pay for a car over 30 years, Ron. Well, I agree with you. Don't do that. So take part of that $900 to $1,000 and start lowering and use that toward an additional principal payment on your home. You see, that's bringing your balance down quicker, and you know that in the early years of your loan, the majority of the money that you pay, the majority of your payment, is going to interest. So if you start sending an extra $1,000 a month or an extra $500 a month, you're going to save a boatload of money. You're going to cut down the interest time, the time rate of your payments, maybe to 20 years instead of 30 years. You say, well, yeah, but Ron, I'm paying for my car for over 20 years. Well, of course you are, but who cares? You're paying off your house in 10 years less time. Doesn't that make sense to you? You're paying off your credit cards in probably 100 years less time. You're paying off your student loans in less time. All of these things. Now, take some of the money as well and put it into a fund. See, if you save $500 a month and you've already been making those payments, you've been making them on time, and you're saving $900 to $1,000 a month, you're putting $500 toward the home loan. Now put the other $500 into a separate account, and that way when you're ready to buy a new car, you go in and you pay cash. Now, here's the issue. Don't buy a new car. Call our friend Jim Kane. He's a wholesaler, an auto wholesaler. That Jim will go to the auction for you or with you. And that's where the biggest dealer of cars is. The Mannheim auctions sell 2,000 or 3,000 cars every week. The biggest auto dealers in America are selling maybe 1,000 cars a month. The auction sells more than that every week, triple, quadruple that every single week. If you go over there with Jim and you get a deal on a car there, they're going to certify it. They'll tell you what's right with it, what's wrong with it. And again, I don't have anything to do with Jim's business. I have nothing to do with it. I just send them a lot of people so that they can get a car at a great rate and not pay the exorbitant overhead that you're going to have at the dealerships, because they're going to go to the auction and buy the car as well. But you just cut out, a lot of overhead right there. We'll talk more about that. We're also going to talk about, if your home hasn't sold yet, what are you doing? What should you be doing about it? We'll talk about that as well. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Remember, you can reach us anytime. Our off-air number is 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA-insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Boy, we've got a lot going on. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564, PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564. One of the real estate professionals will reach out to you to get you the true equity position of your home. Hey, if you're thinking about it and want to know about real estate in your neighborhood, or if you're looking for your dream home, text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. It's a little app that will go right on your phone and get you updated information on properties in your area or in the area you want to live in, right directly to your cell phone. NEST, NEST, to 79564. If your home hasn't sold yet, check the price. And ironically enough, think about this. I was really honored this morning. Just got a retweet of this article that we shared this morning. Realtor.com just retweeted this article we shared this morning. The residential housing market has been hot. Home sales have bounced back solidly and are now at their second highest pace since February 2007. Demand has remained strong throughout the winter as many real estate professionals are reporting bidding wars, with many homes selling above the listing price. What about your house? If your house hasn't sold, it's probably because of the price. If your home is on the market and you're not receiving any offers, look at your price. Pricing your home 10% above market value dramatically cuts the number of prospective buyers who will even see your house. I've shared this chart with you on many times in the past. If you're looking at selling a home, the best way to sell a home is to price it below market value. That's going to get you the most money for your home. Think about this concept. It's really simple and basic economics 101. You price your home at market value, or what you perceive to be, or what your real estate professional tells you is market value. 60% of the potential buyers will see your property. 60%, just barely over half of them. Now, if you price your property 10% above, and this is a number that historically we've seen people do this all the time. Then they'll say, okay, we got a property that's worth $400,000, and they say to their real estate professional, let's put it out at $450,000 and see what happens. We can always come down. Well, what happens is only 30% of the potential buyers see your property. So you end up having to come down. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, what if you put it up at $475,000? That's roughly 15% above the value. Well, now only 10% of the potential buyers will look at your property. 10%. Now, what if we go the other way? Because when no one's looking at your property, that means that demand is low, so the price has to come down. You end up chasing the market straight downhill. Does not do you any good. You don't end up getting good money for your home. So let's look at it the other way. What if you price your property? Remember I told you market value is 60% of the potential buyers will look for your property. If you price it 10% below, so take that $400,000 home that your professional told you it's worth $400,000, and you price it 10% below $360,000. Now 75% of the potential buyers will look at the property. If you go 15%, 90% of the potential buyers will look at the property. Now what's happened? You've created demand for the property. When you create demand for the property, the price goes up. Moreover, you let the buyers start fighting with each other, bidding against each other. What does that do for you? The price goes up. The demands of the buyers go down because they know there's other people involved in the bidding war. So when they go and do that home inspection, they're not going to be looking at it as closely. They're not going to be asking you to do some of the petty things. Now, they may ask you to do for some of the legitimate items, but some of the petty things that just are negotiating ploys, no one's going to ask for those when there's a bidding war going on. And you're not going to have to deal with it then. You're going to also want to look and see who has been pre-underwritten. Not pre-qualified, not pre-approved by a lender, but which of the buyers have been pre-underwritten if you're the seller. That means an underwriter has already gone through the file, and it's almost the same as a cash transaction because all that's now required is an appraisal and clear title. All the other hurdles, all the other roadblocks, they've already been addressed. That's called pre-underwritten. There's only a few companies out there that will pre-underwrite a loan. Our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage, yes, they will pre-underwrite a loan, just waiting for you to find an address to add to the file. Not everybody does that. So there's the issue right there. Price your property properly, which means 10 to 15% below market value. Then you're going to get into the bidding war. The bidding war is going to bring the price up probably above market value because you're going to get 90%, 75 to 90% of the people in the market are going to be seeing your property. Your agent needs to be, your listing agent needs to be working with a lender who's going to cross-qualify the buyers because if they're only qualified for 350 or 360 on that hypothetical property that we were speaking about, doesn't do any good to get in a bidding war and get them up to 400, 425 on the property because maybe they can't afford it. So you want to have your listing agent's lender cross-qualify the buyer and make sure they can afford to be in that negotiation. If they can't afford to be in that negotiation, doesn't do anybody any good. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564. One of the real estate professionals will reach out to you. Also, again, text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. You can get information about properties that you really want to know about. That link will go right into a website that will be created custom for you and show you, and it'll get you a text message every time a new property comes on the market within the parameters that you set. Nobody else is going to set these parameters but you. Nobody else has access to it but you. There's no advertising on there, so you don't have to worry about that kind of issue as well. I love Zillow. Truly has great information on those sites. Sometimes it's not as accurate as I'd like it to be. That's why we've set up a process with Nest for you. NEST, text NEST to 79564, and you'll be able to get that information direct to you. They're updating real time with the multiple listing services in your area, California Association of Realtors, MLS, getting you the information that you need. Just a thought right there for you. Also didn't chat at all when we were talking earlier with you about the concept of some of the getting money out of your property. Right? Remember the idea here. If you already have a home loan, one of the key issues with a home loan that you really need to be looking at is always watching your credit scores. Always watch your credit scores. Our friends over at Credit Sanitizer, they help you with that. That way, when you're looking at buying a new home, you're going to be dealing with interest rates. We want your interest rates to be as low as humanly possible. If you're keeping your credit scores intact, you're watching those credit scores, then you're going to have some great information there to deal with, and you're going to have the lowest possible scores. Get rid of those errors off of your report. Get rid of the duplicates off of your report. Get rid of the erroneous addresses, bad names. Just saw this weekend somebody that we've been consulting with, they found out that there was a judgment on their report that was not accurate. Coming off the report right away. keep up with our friends over at Credit Sanitizer so you have that information, you have that solution for you. Again, that's just a little bit of great information for you from our friends. That way, when you're ready to refinance, you're ready to go for a home loan, a car loan, furniture, all those things, you're going to do much better off if you're dealing with, if you've got your credit scores improved or had made them as best you possibly can. Great information, and as always, we ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today, and of course a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.